Okay, we're live.
All right, hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're having a good Monday. Today, for our meet and greet, we have Pepper Lane, who I believe is much awaited by some people who've been asking to see him. He had an abscess brewing and wasn't at his finest, so we wanted to make sure we showed you him when he's on the upswing of that and feeling a little bit better. So here he is, Mr. Pepper Lane. He's 4 years old and had 3 starts. He came to us from the New York Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association, and his last race was actually up there in New York over a year ago now. He had an injury to his left front, what we call the SDFT, the superficial digital flexor tendon, and he has recovered from that completely now. I have spoken about conformation a couple times, so he does not have the straightest conformation, but we think that in a lower level career, obviously racing is a very high intensity sport, and so little conformational deformities can make them more susceptible to injury. So I think that was probably the case for him. He's a little bit out in that left front, so maybe he just took a bad step and it's kind of like having a bad sprained ankle and just having to rehab from that. He said that was the one. But fortunately, he's shown a lot of promise as a sport horse. We're still recommending him as a flat-only horse because we think that's where he would be more successful. Obviously it's hard without a crystal ball to know exactly what they're going to be able to do, but we think that he could have a really successful career in dressage. And he's one of the horses who's really, really personable, kind of acts like he's a big dog. He's got his itchy spots, like right there. It's like mid-neck. That's always it. Oh yeah, right there. So he's a pleasure to be around. He's a horse who has a very definite personality in the barn. He's always eager to get attention and is not afraid to act silly to do it, to get that attention. I'm sure those of you who are following on a daily basis, you've seen him going like this in the background when we're trying to focus on something else, when he feels like he should be getting all the attention. And some thoroughbreds, I know one of the stigmas about them is that they don't like being groomed or really thin-skinned. You can see he's really enjoying it. We use some softer bristled, even our curry combs are the rounded types. They're really soft. They're not those real hard edges, because I know I wouldn't like to be groomed with any of the harder edges, but this one's soft and kind of feels like a massage anyway. Probably getting myself dirty now. And so he really enjoys it, and all of our horses right now are shedding off their winter coats, but you can see you see his lips twitching like that. That's usually a good sign that they're enjoying what you're doing. So he thinks, oh yeah, you can see him getting good itchy spots there. So especially when they're losing their winter coats, you can see some of them are really enjoying getting that relief, getting that hair off, and like that it feels kind of like a massage too. So I wanted to show you a little bit how he enjoys getting groomed and just getting this attention. Other details that might be relevant to those who are interested in him. He stands about 16'3". So I've got a big helmet on obviously, but I stand 16'3" to my head at 5'7", and he's just about there with me, so maybe a hair under, but we stick to him at 16'3". But he actually was already groomed previously, so I'm not trying to shortcut. I just want to be able to show you guys a little bit of him moving. We're going to bring him out to the outdoor and just see him, what he does out on his own. So that's one of the things that I really enjoy doing with the horses when they are both in the initial phases of our program where we're still trying to figure them out, but then even further along, I don't like to be really restricting of them. I like to see what they do when they put themselves in a tricky situation or when they're confronted with something that they're unsure about. So even with the lunge line, if you're lunging and there are some obstacles, maybe like some jump standards, and they maybe have a reaction and end up on the opposite side of the jump standard from you, just let them wait there for a second. Don't try to automatically reel them in and redirect them yourself. See if they can figure it out on their own, because that'll tell you a lot about them and their personality. Maybe they can't. Maybe they're not ready for that yet. Now, Peppy is really excited because he's been a little stall bound from his abscess, so he knows we're going towards the ring. He gets turned out overnight with a group, and he had a long weekend, so he's actually had a lot of turnout time, but he really likes to work. So when we're going towards the ring, he gets a little excited, and this is him excited. You can feel him sort of pull a little bit more in that direction. It's like a magnet to him. He's excited. And Rambo, I'm sure, is going to help us along the way. All right, Puppy. So when we're turning them out, even in turnout, I like to turn them around so they're facing you, so that you're not just letting them loose and having their thumb, right where your face is, in case they are excited and they run off. It gives you a chance to step back and get out of the line of fire, so to speak. So Peppy, I'm sure some of you will notice, we might as well address it. Some buddy of his, when he was rehabbing, chewed off some of his tail. So he has an unfortunate tail right now, but it's growing back in nicely. And I haven't been able to commit to just cutting that strand off, and feel like maybe that's the time to do it. Actually, we will turn it over to you guys. Why don't you in the comments let me know if you think I should cling to that one piece or just chop it off. Maybe we'll braid that one piece like the Jedi tail. Could be his Jedi tail. And then while you're watching, if you're watching live, go ahead and type in any questions or comments you have in the comment section. And Anna's behind the camera. She'll read out any questions you have to me. And even if you're not watching live, go ahead and type in your comments, and we'll try to circle back and address those questions or comments as they come up. Oh, there goes Rambo. So woohoo! Let us know if you can't see. It's hard, obviously, to keep them on one side of the ring, but we can try to migrate over there, see what he's gonna do.
He's very excited to get out here, and then this is it.
Yeah, exactly. So Peppy is like this most of the time. He's really, he's enthusiastic, but very level-headed. He has more of an upright carriage, but he also is learning to stretch down long and low. And for that will benefit him in a lot of different ways. If you've been watching on the daily, I'm sure some of you heard me harp about the importance of top line. So that's one of the things we've been working on with him, to help him use other muscle groups, since he has a really upright carriage anyway. It's kind of like cross training to get him to use other muscles, even if you're in a discipline where that you want them to have an upright carriage. It's important for them to be able to adjust and be able to have all over balance. Rambo, go get him!
Does he have any limitations in his flat work?
No, we don't have any limitations on him for the flat work. Really, we were on the fence about giving him that limitation for flat only, just overall, because it's hard to say, and he could, in another life definitely has the personality that would be suitable for a show jumper, but we're just trying to be conservative to give him the best opportunity that we can. And for that means, like, we've been doing walk, trot, canter, and do ground poles and things like that with him, because they're important and low impact. So really, he does not have any limitations in dressage. He wants to check out all his buddies over there. See if I can get him to around. Don't worry, folks. Rambo's a trained professional.
So, oh, I could reach grass here though. I could reach some grass. And actually, why don't I show you, since he's out and loose, we're gonna try real time. I've just decided one of the things, if you guys are looking for ways that you can bond with your horses, is I know some people have heard of the Join app. So this can help you even in trying to get them from turnout, like if you have trouble trying to catch your horse. I'll see if I can show you and stay within range. One of the things I like to do with them is kind of, I don't really have a name for it, but it's a similar concept to joining up, where you're being persistent and trying to get them to acknowledge you. So we'll try to get Rambo to stay out of this one. Rambo, come. Go, 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 go. Rambo, go. Rambo, not helpful. Well, I might be detracting a little bit from this exercise, but basically I'll explain it. We'll see if we can circle back, because the key part of this is patience. So we'll let them play for now, but one of the things you can try, Rambo, come here, is you approach them, and approach them at their shoulder, not their head, because it's more inviting. And if they try to walk away from you, just try to stay with them at their shoulder. And if they stop, you stop. Wait for them to turn to you and acknowledge you in that way. And then you can try to lead and see if they follow. But really, it'd be easier to demonstrate. But the concept is simple. You're just trying to stay with them. You're not going to get in their space, and they can come into your space if you invite them to and they turn their head. But you're just going to be patient and persistent and follow with them, and see if you can get there to be a kind of leader-follower role. Rambo, Rambo, out, Rambo, out, Rambo, out, run. Well, Rambo's not helping much in this at all. Rambo, out, 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 out. Almost. Good boy. Alright, so we approach a horse. He's not listening to us in turnout. And he's excited, that's alright. So again, the key to this is persistence. And while I'm doing this, so this isn't boring for some people, feel free to keep asking those questions. Rambo, not helpful. No. Probably going to pick up on that and keep running away. So kind of redirect yourself, take an indirect path. If they're kind of approaching you like this is fine. So I'm going to try to walk sort of parallel to him, but not really make it super obvious that I'm trying to come towards him. Sit down. Sit. 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 Good boy. Sit. They're going to be cautious, but if you act non-threatening and approach and then retreat, which would be controversial, or the opposite of how a predator would act, then they start to feel a little more relaxed. Got his attention. If you can see, I'm not sure if you can, his head and his ears pointed towards me, but then he went back to grazing, and that's a great sign that he's not seeing me as something to run away from. So I'm going to retreat again to sort of reiterate that same point, that I'm not trying to act like a predator. try to just casually go a little bit closer to him. You see he started to walk away. I'm going to retreat again. So Tick Maynard actually had a great way of putting this. There's, imagine like a traffic light. So you're at their green zone here. He's still relaxed. He's not really thinking about what I'm doing. So we're okay. He's comfortable and not thinking about me. Yellow is when he started to look up and be a little cautious. And so that's when you're in the sort of like cautionary point. And then red, of course, would be him moving away from me completely. So then I might retreat back into yellow and green. And then you can try to just push those boundaries a little bit and see if we can sort of play with it a little. And then the idea being you get to a green point where you're right next to them and then can continue on with the exercise. Rambo, slow leg. So if he's walking, I can walk parallel to him and trying to keep that same green distance, then push a little bit and see if we can flex those borders just a little. I might come in and out of it too. If he's not paying attention, I don't want to startle him and then all of a sudden be in the red zone. And then if I'm approaching him, I'm trying to approach more towards his shoulder, not his head again. And I'm going to retreat back. And I'm still a little closer now, but you see he went back to grazing, so we're flexing those borders. And if I step back a little bit and stop following parallel, I'm looking at where his eyes and his ears are, so I'm looking to see where he's putting his attention. And he still is kind of keeping an eye on where I am, but it's not entirely. He's just also trying to find scraps of food. Persistence and patience will get you a lot of places. But then really people sometimes forget about the reward side of things, especially those beyond treats. We know he loves scratches, so maybe we scratch him here. So that's a neat exercise to try at home, especially if you have some horses who are a little harder to catch. And again, this is Pepper Lane. He is available for adoption. You can see his profile on horseadoption.com if you go to horses. So check out his profile there. We have tons of horses available for adoption and are still able to get them into homes for now. And all of these horses, for everyone who's adopted, it's opening up a space for another horse we can bring into our program that is in some need. So again, check out our website. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be looking at Zapparini at noon. I know some of you have been waiting to see Zapparini, so please, we're looking for suggestions. What do you want to see him doing? We'd love to know. Put that in the comment section, and we are looking forward to showing you Zapparini tomorrow.